There we go. We've clicked it. It has been done.
Also,
hi, everybody.
Yeah. Tell us if we're live.
No, or don't. That'd be even more exciting if we don't know. Go.
Would it? I mean, no, just put it in the chat. You're live! Or yeah, you're live! Or what? Any of these things to show us you're listening. And in fact, as the there's now 3 captains on the screen. They're both clear saying make it so. So, Stuart, there we go. All 3 captains make it so. Commanders can't
engage.
Make it so. I'm just going to kind of let it be sowed. I cannot make it so.
Yes.
Yes.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Vad1U has joined the channel at the rank of ensign.
A while ago, but I'm glad we caught it.
Yes. Yes.
Excellent.
And Bird of Prey 5. Haven't seen him in a while. He puts in $2. It says Kapla. It's actually celebrating his first super chat. Is this the first time you super chatted, Bird of Prey? Really?
It's as if they can't hide now.
You know what's up.
Dear me. Thank
and
you.
Olivia throws in $2. Yes, we get to see Samuel finally.
Oh. Did you do bonus lives, Stuart? Are you all around the place? Am I rarity
not
right now?
Bonus lives, no. I have not.
Except that toilet camera, obviously, that you just have on all the time. It's just to...
Oh, that's just for you.
Oh, okay. There's many ways you could have taken that, and you went that way. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to start sharing. I'll see you in a second.
Okay. And guys, we have new super chat animations for when people super chat. So we want to try out during this live. So if you want to super chat, that would be a good time. Also, when people join the channel, we have new animations for that as well. So there you go. Check that out. Why are they testing somebody's testing the super chat thing? They're not supposed to be. Anyway, good to see you guys. As you know, hit that like button. It is awesome. We're going to be talking today about if it feels like Trek yet in this season. Kind of early, I know, but it's worth looking at a few of the changes they've made and how those kind of make it feel more like Trek. So we're going to talk about that today. So everybody hit the like button, whether you're watching this live or after the fact. That helps us out immensely. Do consider joining the channel. There's a join button down there. Click that. Also make sure you're subscribed, obviously, and that you are click the bell notification to all, because we have a lot of lives, we have a lot of edited content, and we want to have you guys enjoy it all. So make sure that you've done all the things you need to do so you can participate and not miss out on any of the things we do around here, because we do a lot of stuff. Also check out the links below. There's a link to Teespring and TeePublic. We have some really cool Trekyards merch down there. We would like to see you guys wearing it, so go get some and help us out in that way if you can. Or if you want to head over to Patreon/Trekyards, the same member tiers apply there. We have a new Trekyards fleet where whether you join the channel here or you do it up on Patreon, you get your name assigned to a ship. If you become captain, you automatically get a ship. Same with Admiral. So consider checking out those different tiers and looking at the perks you get, and you can get your name in an animation. You get to see what ship you're serving on in the Trekyards fleet. It's always a good time.
And now I am back.
And Samuel is back. This is true.
I'm sure you missed me for those few important seconds.
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
Good. So what about today, Stuart? What is our big topic? I should probably do a poll based on said topic, because that's a very obvious thing to do a poll on.
Our big topic is, I can't talk about this with them. Does this season feel more like Trek yet? I know it's only 1 episode under our belt, so it's kind of hard to say. And if we were to judge season 2 on the same criteria, we would have said season 2 was way on track. So yeah, it is kind of early, but we'd like to do this, and then we'll, check it out after the season is over to see whether they maintained it throughout the course of the season. But there's a lot of visuals and things that definitely make it feel like it's new Trek. So, or not new Trek, but like Trek, if you know what I mean. I hope. Anyway,
there's a poll.
So yeah, oh, there's a poll apparently. All right. Let's see what's going on with the poll. In season 3 of Picard, is season 3 of Picard feeling more like Trek? Yes, more Trek feel. Nah, same old new Trek. Or I don't know. There you go.
Because I wanted to put a, you don't not sure, because you could say some might say that we've drank in severe Kool-Aid, and one episode is making us think too many positive things. You know, that is an argument you could make. Obviously, many people have seen 6, who also say nice things. We have not, but people have said things. So the Kool-Aid either is being drunk all around, or it's actually better. You know, is there a mass hysteria, or is it just better? It's actually a real question. You know, are we being pulled in by the hype? Are we thinking entities that can make our own decisions? I don't know. Like, how much do you think you were influenced by the, even in a small way, by the online discussion
hype?
Beforehand? Yeah.
I was massively influenced by it, unfortunately, which is a bit of a shame.
Mm.
So I'm just looking forward to every episode being great all through the season.
Yeah, that's definitely a problem. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. See how it goes. I think the hype from the people that have been giving it hype are people that make you raise your eyebrow, like, why are you giving this hype? So it's probably really good. But then again, if it's good for their criteria, I mean, you know,
well, it's
they've
like,
kind of got shit tastes sometimes.
I mean, oddly, if Nerdrotic loves it, you're like, well, how do I feel then?
Exactly.
That's not necessarily a touchstone that I can relate to in the same way, you know?
Yeah.
Although it implies not bad, at least. And I just feel, you know, we want to be fair and balanced. And even though we might know things and people in the production, balanced is very important and fair is very important. And so we also sung from the Raptors about season 2, episode 1.
Yes, we did.
For being the best episode. I think I even told, before we knew them, I think I told both Terry and Dave on Twitter, best episode of the last live action of the last 15 years, and it was. So we'll see. I think I'm certainly on tenterhooks for next week, as in this week, as in tomorrow. Damn it, shoot it back there again. Will there be a drop off, or will it be continuing the same engaging format? That is the real question.
It is. All right, we got some super chats though. Let's get to those.
Excellent.
Jasper Jedi, $10. I've certainly appreciate the visual and audio references, examples of music, the blue text, etc. I do hope the feel of Trek continues with the storyline and the characters. We will see. Yeah, music's definitely a big one that actually adds to the ambiance. And yeah, the subtle things like the text and the color of the text for the opening.
Wait, subtle?
It's
not subtle at all.
It is, because it was 5 seconds long. It wasn't
but it was the old. Everyone knows what it is. It's not subtle at all, Stuart.
Not everyone knows what it is. A lot of the new Star Trek fans won't know what that is at all.
But then it's not subtle. It's just something they don't know.
Yeah.
And music's a good one, Stuart, because I think we both remember the moment where the Voyager theme comes in when Seven are kids in season 1, or equivalent Borgness. That's one of the best little moments. The music helps sing. The actors. There's a reason, Trek for the most part is very good music. It's actually, I would think, one of the stronger shows or stronger franchises. BSG as well. I don't like it, but I would think it's very good. Like Lost in Space, some good, but not all memorable. But Trek has a lot of memorable. There's will be a lot of it, but a lot of memorable.
Yeah. Olivia Julius, though, $5. Today's episode is brought to you by Borg's Dress Shop, helping you become the cutest girl, the cutest girl at the prom. Oh, that's pretty good. That's funny.
Pretty good.
Grant McGregor, $5. The most Trek pick for me was season 2, episode 1. The Borg want peace. Felt like a great hook for an ethical dilemma, like Star Trek 6, but fresh. I like the Borg cooperative.
Yeah, friend Borg.
Yeah, confusing. It's just kind of weird.
Yeah.
And Trekyards and BSG is awesome, even. BSG is awesome, but the new music absolutely sucks. Balls.
It's gorgeous.
It's not. The original music is great.
Yeah, it's okay. That one theme is good because it's obviously iconic.
So is all the other music in the original. This one's like tribal shit.
Yeah, with all these interesting. It's very it's alien, but not.
It's crap, but not.
He should have got an Oscar for it if there's music Oscars.
I would not want that soundtrack. Let's just all put that on.
I've in school I used to listen to that all the time. It was like
I can believe it.
Yeah, it was like my favorite. And the seasons were so distinct as well. You could absolutely pick which season based on the music as well.
Yeah.
At least I could, but I like them all. So
Stephen W. Fathry from Text Trek is here.
Go watch Text Trek.
$5.
Obviously.
Yes, if you get the chance, go watch Text Trek.
If you don't get a chance, do it anyway.
Yeah, just go do it.
Time travel. Do it.
Let's see if he pushes his Text Trek in his comment here. I'd be curious to see a poll of season 2 Stargazer versus Titan A. I just ran that poll on my Twitter, and they both got a lot of votes. Titan A won. Oh, for best ship. Yeah. That'd be a good poll to do later in this live, for sure.
Yes.
I mean, the Titan A is probably a good place to start with feeling like Trek, because they went with the Neo Constitution class, or the Constitution Class 3, to recapture. And I know Terry did that deliberately to recapture that original retro vibe, and he was quite shocked that people weren't happy with it when they first saw it. Everybody's like, it looks like an old ship. It looks like why would they go retro with the design? But I think it's good. Again, it ties in with all the visuals, like the font and the color, to kind of ground us back in that Trek world, the Trek universe, even the beauty shots of the ship and stuff. So yeah, I think, I mean, the Stargazer, it's a nice enough design, and we loved seeing it in season 2. We really did, especially mixed with all these STO ships. But yeah, I can understand why people have a bit of an issue with the Titan, honestly. So maybe I'm wrong about that, but I like it. 90 people here now. Awesome. Go hit that like button. We have 40 likes right now. I'm sure we can get up to 100 easily. So hit that like button if you're just joining us. William J says the secondary hull is okay. The lower backstory of the ship is needlessly messy, though. Yep. Yes, trying to make it the Titan was an odd choice, and be Riker's Titan, it just a little bit of an issue there. A little bit of an issue. Is everything okay, Sam?
Well, there's no time pictures, so I'm trying to work out this thing to get. There's no time pictures, so it's not.
Oh, well, that's good.
I know.
I'll get you some.
I know. There's nothing.
Anyway, Titan A does look decent. Stargazer are way more powerful and looks cool. Well, Stargazer is definitely the next step in the Starship evolution design, whereas, yeah, the Titan feels like a step back almost. So it's just a different design, like lineage. How many Neoconis are there? I don't know. I don't know how many they've built. This is a very good question. You would think probably at least a handful, but
Okay, I had to do it myself via different means, but there we go.
that's okay. Yes, sir.
Right, what? Titan, yes, hello. Yeah, the time flight Trek?
Oh, absolutely. But does it feel like the wrong era of Trek?
Well, that's been done to death. So there's no point really rehashing that, really. Like
A lot of people.
specifically.
The thing I find interesting, a lot of people point out that the cells look like Phase 2 nacelles, which they do, but I think I don't know how valid that argument really is. They also look new.
I mean, are Voyagers based on the Enterprise Ds? Yes. Are the Equinox based on the Sovereigns? Yes. I mean, everything should be, in theory, you could, a lineage means there's some logical whatever. It's like the Helios, like it has that back pod, which, Doug's involved, so it could be the NX-01 sort of warp regulator pod thingy,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, definitely if you want to grab classic Trek, which is funny because obviously Stargazer last season felt like hyper modern Trek. This feels like hyper classic Trek.
Well, it feels like a hybrid, both though. Honestly, I think. Um, yeah. Let's see. We got super chat from Starship USS Tiho. It's £1, so thank you so much. Much appreciated.
Well, what I was going to suggest we start is with this picture that was on here with, does it feel like how it should be in this era? Which is of all good things that we saw, which is of course the Q possible future, because that's actually what it could, should, would have been. This is what the universe did go into, at least in one iteration, just like with Endgame. Does this and that have any parallels? That is the question.
No.
Okay.
Everybody's got uniquely different looks. I mean, the uniform and the badge are close enough. I don't know, man. I think they look pathetic in both of them, honestly.
Was that Patrick's real beard?
I don't know. Probably not.
Yeah, because I mean, you'd film all the bits in like you'd film all the future, past, and present stuff as a batch, you'd think. But I don't think he'd have time to grow that. But he could have grown that before. No, probably not. That's got to be at least what, 2 month, 3 month, 4 month beard.
Yeah, that's a beard.
But I've never thought, is it a fake beard? And I've seen the episode many times. But I guess obviously there's going to have to be, beards that are good enough to fool. The other stroke being Shatner's toupee, for example.
Wow, I just had to bring that up.
Well, that's the.
Well, no, I mean they do good. They do good beard effects and stuff these days. So I'm not.
But this
pretty sure that's a fake beard.
But this wasn't these days. That was.
Well, even then, though, the visual effects for that kind of stuff was, or the prosthetics, sorry, were fantastic. So.
Yeah. But it is fun to see how they think they aged, because, why is Crusher not at all ginger anymore? That's confused me. She's now black hair with white hair. Why is she not any ginger? Because ginger hair lasts the longest. Normally, there's the most pigment in it. So shouldn't she still be ginger?
That's a very good question.
Like, why has she gone fully dark hair? I would think she'd still be entirely ginger, at least with little bits of white. So change her entire look. It's like she was a ginger.
Yeah, but I think she might have dyed her hair ginger for the, what's the character's thing? I'm not sure.
Well, I think Beverly was dyeing her hair.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a new bit of lore. But
Wow.
Isn't Gates a natural redhead? I know she wore a wig for some of TNG.
I think she
I'm
is.
pretty sure she is.
That's actually a good question.
Because I've never thought, why is she a redhead? But she just is. I feel like I've seen interviews and not conventions, because obviously she's older in the modern day. Geordi, he's got white hair, but they thought he'd have dark hair. And Data's not alive. They got that wrong. Well, I think Picard's fashion's a bit better in his leathery outfit than this. But and you can't even say he was both chateauing, so he did come from the Chateau Origins.
Yeah, I mean, Data looks better.
William Joseph was blonde in the movies. Was she now?
Yeah, she wasn't quite red in the movies. Especially Insurrection, I think she was more blonde.
Well, on Nemesis, she was absolutely ginger. I mean, she was up.
Eric Skelton, $5. What's the chance we'll see a Daedalus class ship in the fleet parade? Do Paramount execs hate that design? I mean, you're more likely to see that than, I don't know, like a Federation class dreadnought. Even though sort of kind of seem like. Anyway, because that was one of Captain Sisko's favorite ships. There actually was a model of it in his ready room on DS9. So.
Yeah, and she was gingery blonde, but definitely mostly ginger in Insurrection. So no,
she's a strawberry blonde. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's blonde and there's blonde, so she's definitely a ginger with a bit of blonde versus.
That's what it's called, strawberry blonde.
Yeah, but it's ginger mostly.
Yeah.
It's just odd. I wonder if they're thinking, a 70-year-old couldn't rock ginger.
Just because the actress maybe doesn't have ginger hair anymore.
That's what Di's for.
I know, but maybe she doesn't want to.
Yeah.
I think she looks awful, honestly, in this season. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but
Yeah.
I don't like the hair color. It just makes her seem a lot older than she should be. And even Worf's the white hair. A lot of people have been making that thing about that. So I don't know what to say. I think the All Good Things look better almost than the actual what we got now, especially for like Worf. Honestly, Riker looks better now in Picard though than he did in All Good Things. Looks more lively and less tired for sure.
Yeah, Riker looks better. That's interesting. But he was meant to be, you know, scorned by the past. It affects you, Stuart.
Yeah.
And in fairness, Q looked a lot better than he did.
Yeah.
When he was in Old Man Q. But what do you guys think? I mean, what is the feel of Trek that we're looking for here or not? Because, you know, I think of what was generating a more Trek feel this week. It was honestly, I think mostly is that I felt like I was actually watching Picard and Riker. Because, you know, the ships are different and a bit weird and the you know, all that stuff's new. But Picard and Riker, that's who I'm relating to. That's who I'm seeing as like these are just these guys. Like, I'm wondering if that's the thing that I was gravitating most towards. What do you think? Because I wasn't questioning. Whereas in season 1, most people say it doesn't feel like Picard. That's a problem.
Yeah.
And here he's feeling like Picard. It's like, oh, there you go. You know?
I'm trying to find a good picture that compares them in All Good Things and now, and I just can't. I saw one the other day. Anyway, sorry. I'll get to the super chats. Eric Skelton, $5. Oh, we read that one. That's the Daedalus class one. My apologies. Uchanamu, $2. Might change hair color if she's on the run. I don't think that matters in the future.
Well, it's recognizable names and faces.
It's
a small thing.
It's not like in the 70s where you change your hair color and add a beard and, you know, people won't notice you.
It's just a small thing, but it's actually such a notable. It's like if Marina suddenly came in without the contact lenses and blonde hair, you'd be like, well, that feels a bit off. You know, so you don't realize you associate, but you do. But yeah, definitely it's definitely the characters. They just are speaking with the voices that I associate, and yet still the evolved version, because that's, of course, they would be. But I'm probably there's a sense of, now we've had Picard and Riker reconnect, that once you got past the initial hurdle of how have we missed each other, how have we not talked for years, the chemistry rolls back in. I imagine, you know, like if we didn't see each other for a year for whatever reason, then saw each other, I mean, it would take a couple of days to and then boom, the groove, right?
Yeah.
I think that's definitely the case. And that I assume is going to be for everyone as well. I mean, there's some clever writers, so I think that's going to be everybody.
Yeah. Do you think that Picard sounds like Patrick Stewart sounds better now or in season 1?
No, I did listen back. His voice is definitely degraded, which is sad. But I mean, he's still trying. Like you know, he doesn't act as if he is vocally challenged, but you know, he's still giving it his all. And that's all he can do, really. Riker was also fantastic, but and the question is though, will you know, if this is really a love letter sort of season, that feel is going to be the people, because in the episode we mostly got Riker and Picard and the new people, which worked tremendously well. But if their voices aren't there, that's the through line. And if we're going to have Picard interact with everyone else, you know, yes. And we have a mild celebrity in the chat as well, Stuart.
Who do we have? Oh, it's Terry Matalas. Oh my God.
The man that made it so. Yes.
Guys, do you realize that human beings age?
And Klingons. And
we don't. I mean, go back 8 years, watch our first Trekyards episodes. We haven't changed one bit.
Oh, don't do that.
We just got more confident and less cringy. That's all.
Yes.
Other than that, no changes.
Yeah. Less cringy. Oh, I heard that. Yeah, but it's that balance, because you know, if you, there's so much core value to who he thought those people were over 7 years plus the movies. Although, you know, like Red Letter Media say, you know, the movies then suddenly became actiony. Picard was rarely a fighter, like a physical fighter, and suddenly he was doing these big octane things. It was certainly out of character, unless he's pushed to it. But obviously he was pushed to it. That's the line they sort of forgot. But, you know, it's like I would expect the entire cast to do cool things. You know, I'd expect Marina to also go in guns blazing, and Gates, and love all of them, because they did Starfleet training.
Well, I mean, this all comes down to the same argument we had in season 2. That the characters don't look as good when they don't have carpet. I mean, they had carpet back in the day, and now they just don't.
So the head just exploded there. I think Dave just heard us from across the world. He's close to you, though.
Dave's only like an hour away from me now.
His head.
So
he had the carpet. Oof. Yeah.
I mean, all good things. Patrick Stewart had a carpet on his face, so it doesn't matter. Just saying.
I mean, that was a thing you just said, Stuart. I'll give you that.
And that's why they turned the lights down in the new one, because, you know, you don't want to see all the reflections off the unbearded face, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, 143 of you here. Awesome. Hit that like button, guys. We are at 67 likes. We want to get to 100. You can easily do that.
I mean, I'll ask Terry then, because he happens to be here. Who's your favorite character to write for? Of the family of TNG?
Well, he's also dissing other YouTubers here.
Wow.
Shive's video is weak sauce. We laughed him out. I haven't seen that one yet.
No, neither have I.
Chuck Ado.
He has annoying views on many things. I don't.
I know. Chuck Ado, TNG fanatic, $2. Worf always says it's a good day to die, as in like dye your hair. Cha.
Oh, and Terry says Riker.
Yeah. Riker, yeah.
I mean, clearly he's set. I mean, I certainly hope he's in more, like actively, but he was MVP for sure. And it's the sort of performance, Stuart, you're like, Jesus Christ, let's get him another season. Like, he still got it, but also new. Like, give Riker a miniseries. You know.
And Eric Skelton says Terry hit the like button. Oh wow, this is so cool. Did Terry hit the like button though?
Don't think we can know.
I don't think he's allowed to like our videos.
No, one other thing I think that I was noticing is pace, because pacing is there is a Trek pace. It's got some mystery, it's got some energy, it's got some flow, it's got some fun. Normally, and I felt the pace was very conducive. And big part of that, of course, was the space shots. They were able to breathe. And it's not to say that other space shots weren't good in other seasons, but, and I went back into a bit of a thing for a video coming out tomorrow. The season 2 shot Stargazer is lovely, but it's very fast and zippy, and it doesn't quite have the same impact as these graceful, flowy shots. And there's a lot of them, and we said a couple of times, but there's something else to this of appreciation and grandeur, and you a conventional non-Trek producer would say lots of quick shots will show the ship better, but the secret sauce is slow and graceful beauty shots. That yes. You have to know the franchise,
and we've been saying that since forever,
before day one.
Discovery season 1, we were like, where are our ship shots?
Yeah.
We get no time with the ship that we actually enjoy, you know.
And it's funny because the teaser had graceful ship shots for season 1. So that makes a huge difference. Obviously the first episode, first, second, and last, I guess 9th and 10th will always have more space shots because they can afford the budget. You know, get people in and then take people out with a big bang. But I'm hoping there's certainly this many space shots throughout the entire season. They kind of threw money at the VFX people to keep this guy. I would be disappointed is the wrong word, but I would appreciate the maintained quantity of space shots. There's a lot of qualifiers there, but you know, if you want to cut to warp randomly between scenes, do it. You know, I like cutting to warp.
Yeah, and please fix your warp. I know you tried. It's better, but
and it's funny because they could obviously, if they had said it was, you know, slipstream or transwarp, it's like, okay, fine. But then it's like,
Yeah.
well, damn, they got like the transwarp logic to the whole thing. At least the ship looks nice at warp. And in fact, did we ever see a Lesserina actually at warp that wasn't just from the cockpit looking out?
Yes, I think we did.
I don't remember.
Not like passing by.
Yeah, passing by.
We saw like the tunnel, and then we saw it like.
Right.
Yeah, there's one or two shots like that.
So I don't associate that ever with like a beautiful. Huh. Interesting. Huh.
All right, Matt Boardman puts in $5. I think Dave said he blocked over 100 people for carpet comments. Ha ha ha! That man is my hero. Yeah, I was just talking to him on Twitter yesterday, and I kind of made a jab about the carpet thing again because we were the kind of ones that were there at the forefront of that.
It's a valid note. It's just how you say it.
And Matt throws in another $10. Starfleet ships are always meant to be graceful, as Doug and I were talking about last Thursday.
Just name drop there.
The RAFI is the gold standard. Or the RAFI, the refit. Oh my God. The refit is the gold standard for how these ships should look. This here fits in that standard. Some would say a little too much. Like, a lot of people don't like the retro callback look of it to a Constitution class. But
and it's funny you say the refit is the best it ever looked. That's with the miniature limitations. That ship never did turns or maneuvers. It moved forward gracefully, right? I think kind of Voyager probably was the highest because it could do more. It got both styles. The refit's like limited by its flow. Like, I mean, you could not have done the graceful, you know, Z-axis gorgeous shot from the trailer with the miniature. It'd just been entirely impractical, and that shit looked good. So, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, the refit looks glorious standing still. Voyager, yeah, not as much. Yeah.
But when would it ever stay still, Stuart? They got to get home. But Terry does say we looked at the warp old style, TNG style. Didn't look as good in HD. However, stay tuned. Ooh. Which in fairness maybe will be on an older ship. And the older ship will of course have the older warp.
Okay, I'm down with that.
I was about to say best of both worlds there. I didn't mean...
If they do that, it will be the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
And I would give them a lot of credit.
Yeah.
Older ships, you say? Like in a museum, you say?
Well, I mean... Now, obviously, Terry can't quote on this, but now we get to say it while he's here. We had this great theory yesterday from the great trailer this season on, and obviously say something, but don't say anything. We deduced that you're actually introducing the not just the museum as a fan love letter, which obviously it is, but that Frontier Day, they're all, many are going to pop out of their circle docks and be in that final moment. So then suddenly you get them standing still, being, yay, the Voyager's there, and then suddenly Bosch, right at the end, zipping through the frame in this giant big... Because of course you'd bring out the most famous ships for the celebration. I mean, 250 years is an astounding milestone. Why the hell wouldn't you bring these ships out of their docks? I mean, that is a testament to everything it stands for, especially the NX-01 being there. That would be... be a moment.
If you're having like a parade, like an Heritage Day kind of thing, which is what Frontier Day is, it makes perfect sense to fire up the old ships and bring them out for that.
Yep. I mean, you know, if they're only not far from Earth, warp-toable quick engines, you know, I mean, you can even track them at warp, I guess, if you don't want to give them warp drives. Yeah, that's logical, I guess. And that just really got us very excited yesterday, obviously. And then you suddenly get this breadth of good, bad, I mean, new, old, like a variety of things flying around. I mean, and then talk about ending the season on a "it feels like Trek." It's like, here is a representation of our legacy. Huh? Platter, silver. But that's just us.
Well, it makes me wonder where Ath and Prime is, because
well, yeah.
That's where the.
I mean, you wouldn't think it'd be far from Earth because you'd want it to be accessible.
Yeah.
Maybe it's equal distant from Andor, Teleprime, Vulcan, and Earth, just right in the middle of the four.
Maybe. My question still is that the original Earth space dock that they moved? Or is that just another space dock from the era? 'Cause I was kind of excited that it was the original space dock, you know?
Yeah, either one. Either one. I mean, moving a space dock, that would be a testament of engineering ability. Not saying you can't do it, but that'd be a hell of a thing.
Well, I mean, they moved Deep Space Nine.
Well, it thrusted a bit and then stopped.
It was in the solar system, I know, but still.
And I didn't like it either. It always broke the station. But yes. Or maybe that's what maybe it has been moving since Star Trek 7.
just by Athen Prime right now.
Yep.
That's where it is now.
It's been impulsing for 100 years. Terry says, "All right, I'm heading out. Worf looks amazing. I won't tell him at dinner tonight what you said." Hey, we say you look good. Yes, tell Michael. Get Michael back. I know he doesn't like the makeup, but get him back. It's a great look. He's gonna stab people. He's no pacifist. Stab. It's all good. Have fun. But episode 4. 3 or 4. The next batch, I'm guessing. Thanks for showing up. Aha, Terry, he just spoiled it for you, Stuart. Read the spoiler before one of our admins removes it.
There's a new space dock in the Fleet Museum. Is the old space dock. Spoiler.
Mic drop. He couldn't leave without telling.
We already said there is a new space dock in the old. Well, but why is it at Athen Prime now? How'd you move it? I want to know these
But he's
things.
confirming is the actual space dock. There you go.
That's awesome.
There
Thank
you
you.
go.
Yeah,
Yes.
I appreciate that.
Can you imagine though if that space dock was so giant it took like years to refit? There's some levels of it are still like Star Trek 2 era. Some are still, a variety of, it's like, we'll refit deck 176 a different day and it stay the same for 130 years. So you can walk through a really old looking deck.
Yeah. Well,
I'm excited for that. Thanks, Terry.
That was interesting.
We can't wait.
Another thing that makes this feel like Star Trek to me is definitely the computer displays.
Mm-hmm.
We've got old LCARS back. We've got the one on the Ethos as well as
EOS.
Captain Picard. Yes. Helios.
Yeah, we're both wrong.
That's Helios.
Helios.
You always said Helios, which I knew was wrong. But, yeah,
We're doing well here.
There we go. Anyway, so getting some of those visuals back because that has the older style and the older color LCARS. And then, of course, the stuff on the Titan, like our LCARS around us right now. It's like the TNG ones, just evolved color-wise. Mm-hmm. And it's not like floating holograms everywhere.
And we do know the designer, the ostensive designer of this newer style, Andrew Jarvis, who was brought on in season 1. Should I tell the funny story about how we met Andrew Jarvis? So we obviously do a lot of videos for Trekyards and fairly balanced discussion, talking. That's what we do. And we know people watch our stuff, but we don't treat it as if they do unless they turn up in the chat and talk to us. Then obviously we know they do. But you know what I mean, guys? Because the point is the fair, honest feedback. That's, whatever. And we did a video on the Romulan spearhead, spiderhead. What's it called? What was it called?
The copperhead.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's basically a copperhead snake head.
Oh. So the tiny one that Naris, man from season 1, the Romulan guy. It's been a while. He flies this when he goes off to that arena. And we did a whole review on it, and I commented that the LCARS, or the display systems that Naris used, it looked like gibberish. It had no pattern, no rhyme, no reason. And then we got an email from Andrew saying, yeah, I know about that. It was just... I was rushed. I had to put it together. I agree with you guys. It's a bit messy. I would do it differently. And again today, we're like, oh, okay, cool. And then we had a talk with him. He was really, really nice. Really put some thought in. And he lamented that he presented every episode's graphics to the production, and some they just didn't use. And that's that. So every time in season 1 you see weird graphics, that's because they didn't open the Andrew Jarvis LCARS folder. Instead, this appeared. And his stuff is fantastic. And this is all at least iterative of his work, and it is like gold standard. I mean, it's it's faithful yet new yet faithful, which is what you want from a show that's further.
Yeah. And yeah, we did a whole interview thing with him back in season 1 of Picard, which I don't think ever got released, did it? We didn't actually
No,
release it.
because it was a can we, should we, that sort of
Well, he
video.
was also yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was great talking to him though, and having that insight from somebody that was working on the show. Yeah, so many things that we've done. God damn.
Yep. But no, the LCARs are superb. And yes, I'll admit, I loved seeing the Helios LCARs. They're just so fresh. I think, I'm reading this right, not the chat. I mean, I think that Peel had said that when they had done the LCARs in TNG, what we see on screen is not how they're intended per se. Because Mike Okuda said there was a color palette he invented, but then once you put it onto a physical gel and a light, the hues change, and then through filming. So what it was is what it was, but it wasn't what he actually intended, but obviously they ran with it and they moved forward. And so what you see in Helios, with the ability to do perfect colours, that shade of purple and orange is actually what he intended for 30 years ago. Or so I read.
Interesting.
But I certainly do miss the multi colour. You know, I certainly think the everything's blue is an overused trope, because it just looks like every other thing, even through an LCARS format. That's why I like the greys and the red. That it sharply contrasts.
Yeah. That's the thing. That even when they did things like, you know, showing the future in different shows, you kind of got muted color palettes. Like, look at it. It's on the screen now. I mean, all good things was the same kind of LCARS on at least her ship, on Beverly's ship. But I don't think we ever saw the bridge of the. We see the bridge of the Enterprise D, the Galaxy X.
Yeah, they beam onto it. It's just the Enterprise D. They didn't change it.
Okay.
The lighting's different. Yeah, this shot from Endgame, I think, is hot trash. I think it's kind of disgusting, these colours. Personally.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
I mean, in the background, they've got the big displays, just like the Titan does, though. Like, just everywhere displays. So they got that right, I guess.
Is that what? I guess that's, I don't know. But it looks like hot garbage. They just put colours. There's nothing here. Nothing redeems this. Except Harry Kim's good age-up makeup, because that's a good Garrett Wang who didn't look like that. Yeah. Yeah, terrible LCARS. Awful.
Oh my god. Well, what do you guys think about the LCARS? Actually, we have 190 votes on our poll. Go vote on the poll. We want to get to 200 votes if possible. And hit that like button if you haven't, because we have 162 people watching and 108 likes. Let's try to get to 150 likes. Should easily do it. And we want to hear your thoughts, guys. Anything that reminded you visually or whatever of actual older Star Trek. What are they doing right this season that you've noticed so far? We want to hear your input. So if you can super chat in, we'd appreciate it. We want to hear from you guys.
Yes. But yeah, we can end the poll as we're about to hit, or near, over 190, I should say. We asked, is the big question of this live, is season 3 of Picard feeling more like Trek? 68% say yes. 20% say don't know. With 12% nah. Same old new Trek. Pretty good.
Interesting. Yeah, so we'll get a new poll up for you guys in just a second there. Yeah, I'm a huge LCARS fan, and I'm really enjoying this season so far. I love it. We're probably going to see a mix of older and newer ones, because we are going to a museum. I don't know what exactly we're going to see in the museum necessarily, but it'd be cool to see some older, even some TOS displays or something in the background, just as they're walking or whatever. Kind of neat to see some kind of history there. Eternal Vigilance says, Trekyards, you guys have to love Picard. It's got to be helping your views. We don't have to like anything. We like what is good. So,
and in fact, hate views were a big part of the early YouTube space for Discovery, and we did not subscribe to that.
Yeah. We also love Prodigy, and that doesn't get us any views. So.
No, it doesn't.
And it should, because it's fantastic Trek. So the new poll is, do you prefer the new USS Titan A or the USS Stargazer refit? Go vote. Let's see. Matt Boardman throws in $5. Let's not underestimate the proper use of sounds this season. Things like the Trek sounds are being used in correct ways finally. You say that, but season 1 of Discovery had a lot of audio clues. And sometimes misplaced, like not in the correct place, but they had a lot of the original TOS sound effects in the first season of Discovery, and they were kind of distracting in a way because it didn't match up visually with what was going on. So I found it to be a little bit of a problem, more so than a good thing. Yeah, I don't know. They're done right so far in this season of Picard, though, especially the musical cues. So just putting that out there. We're at 120 likes now, which is amazing, guys. How high can we get? Can we get 150? 160 of you here. I think we could.
An Aravis. Yeah, the Stargaze is confusing because they also say in the dialogue it's the same ship.
Which also makes no sense, and we talked about that at the time.
Yes. I mean, I say it because I don't want to... It's not a Stargazer A, and it's not the Stargazer from TNG, so that was my way of expressing it. It's this new one. And it's obviously, it's a newer version of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's yeah. Wish Terry was still here, because that's something I don't agree with. It's the way that whole history of the ship was presented. Be interesting to get Bill Krause's take on that, because I don't think he would be super happy about it either, but I don't know. I can't speak for him, so. Oh, no. Oh, my God. Try and do something here. Let's see. Planet X, member for 3 months at the rank of Ensign. Lord X Titan is the best Titan. Yeah. I can see why a lot of people would say that.
I mean, you've only had one episode of this Titan. You've had many, people are used to the old Titan with years of it being sort of side canon, etc.
Yeah, it was a weird anomaly for a long time. George Mangrum, $5. Thank you so much. I hope that those operating the museum ships are wearing the appropriate era uniforms. Ooh, that could be interesting. Yeah. Also hope they're wearing white gloves. Actually, not hoping that they're wearing white gloves. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how the museum is handled and what we see exactly. If it's just exterior shots, if we do get to go inside, what's on display. I'm super excited for the museum. That's something that I think I would love to have been able to work on or be part of to contribute towards that, because that would be all the Trek history to play with, and need a series kind of going around being about the museum of Geordi, being curator of it.
Sorry, Nim's talking to me. She hasn't talked to me in like 5 days, so sorry.
Who?
Nim. Nimrin.
Yeah. 174 people watching, 127 likes, guys. Hit that like button. I want to get to 150, as I said. But yeah, super chat in with your thoughts, ideas, comments, questions, concerns. The above Titan sequence lighting looks a bit off to me.
Well, it's also because you're used to the darkness of the modern Trek, and so therefore when it goes bright like old Trek, you're like, ah. But it's like, ah.
But it should be well lit, especially around the planet.
Well, I mean, yeah. See, thematically, if it was beautiful and bright during Earth, and then gets dark through this, the further out you go, then there's a thematic flow there, Yeah?
And Philip Gaming is here with Live Long and Prosper. Philip, when you're talking to us, which episode are you in? Let us know. We want to hear what your experience was on set. Eric says he just super chatted, but I think I missed it. I think I did. Sorry, Eric. He puts in $2. Does how good, bad new Trek is? Does how good or bad new Trek is affect your views? No, because like we said, Prodigy is fantastic, and yet nobody shows up for our Prodigy stuff. Because I guess they're refusing to watch it because it's animated. They don't understand it. I don't know. Even Lower Decks doesn't do as well. But generally, no. I mean, even Discovery, that's kind of panned, we get a lot of views for, depending on the episode or what's going on. So, considering we're kind of like, as we're called, the neutral zone of the Star Trek channels, where we look at the good and the bad, I don't think it really affects us too much.
And where was the comment? Sorry.
Eric's.
Oh yeah, how does good? I mean, I think we proudly reset every time. Weirdly, because if all these shows are being made by the same people, you could bring in preconceived notions, but they're all different showrunners. They're all different teams. They're all different writers, so they all have different appreciation standards and grades, as it were. You can't.
Actually, they're all Kurtzman's new Trek, and it all sucks. Not gonna watch any of it. You get those people. Just because it's new Trek, they don't want to watch it. So, but anyway, I'll watch it all and judge it on its own merits, and I will watch it all. If you can't not watch it and then talk about it because you don't know what the hell you're talking about, then, which is the way a lot of people seem to do things. So. Bradley Thomas throws in $5. We need a proper Enterprise send-off. I hope we see the NX refit in museum and to Paul in Strange New Worlds. The Paul in Strange New Worlds would be great. And yeah, seeing the NX refit would be amazing as well. Which would make Doug really happy to actually have his refit on screen. That'd be fantastic. Alex A puts in $5. Worked in ship museums with one ship in it. That was huge. Logistics of Fleet Museum, mind-boggling. Props to the tour guides. Days to see all. Will we see NX-01? I'm hoping to see NX-01 and hopefully the refit with the secondary hull. But yes, the tour guides. It would be a multi-day thing to check out the entire Fleet Museum, I'm sure. Thomas Riker says Prodigy is fresh new Trek. Yes, it is.
And it's not a kids show. It's a show that happens to have young people in it. And besides, Janeway's now in it. I mean, if you include Janeway's age, it averages out the age of all the kids to like middle-aged people, because she has a significant age to it. Dave said Discovery started off good and went poor. You enjoyed the shows you like?
Yeah.
Ah, sorry, Carrie.
Discovery's been like this. It's been better, it got better, it got course corrected, it got worse, it got better, it got better, it got
Well, I mean, it depends what you're looking for. If you want a not Star Trek feeling Trek, season 1.
Bingo.
If you want a very TOS utilizing as in Pike Spock, then season 2 is your thing. Even with the action drama of season 1, that's your thing. And if you don't care about plot consistency, that's season 2 because it doesn't make a lot of sense. Season 3, if you want a long drawn out mystery with tension, if you do not like the end, that'll affect it. 4 is pandemic, things, bobs, and 5 we get to see.
Let's see, 133 likes. We're almost at 150 with 193 people here. Guys, come on, hit the like button. And let us know what you want us to talk about. So far, we talked about the Titan, the design of the Neo Constitution class, the way the casts look compared to All Good Things, the computer displays. Yeah, so we want to hear what you guys want to talk about, though, what you guys want us to talk about. One thing that I'm kind of happy they included is the cards archaeological treasure thingy. I forget what it's called. But it's actually But it's actually different if you look at the one that's on his desk now to the one that he got. It's a little bit different shaped. but I appreciate the attention to detail. That being said, a lot of people have brought up the fact that well, first of all, there's very few of these in existence that are complete sets. Picard had one. It was on the Enterprise when it crashed. He picked one up, and as Red Letter Media, I like to add the sound effect of him putting it down and it shattering, where he sets it down. He does not drop it. He sets it down. So does he have all the pieces? I don't know, but it was a nice little touch to have that in there.
It is hilarious. The priceless.
Yes.
And I mean Patrick played that scene so beautifully. It's like he opens like
the importance of it, yeah.
I mean, but I do understand though. While silly as the way he handles it is silly, although I can understand. You've just about saved your crew. You just saved 32 million people on Viridian 3. You know that everything else is more important. The real stuff versus this trinket. You know, it's like when your house is burning. Are you gonna go after the artifact that you've always wanted, or your family, your pets, your computer, your things that are really meaningful? You know.
My pets. I don't know. I might have to. Pets before Sylvia, maybe.
Is she in the room?
She is.
Well, and you're on the floor today. So I get that one, but that's, you know. But then we've also asked many a time, and in fact we had a chat in our admin forum about how there may be old elements of old enterprises, of old legacy, you know, the ABCD, like elements that continue with each new ship, a la there's some cutlery, or some girders, or some bath mats, who knows, something. And then we joked, that sounds somewhat logical, somewhat illogical, but also the enterprises blow up often. So anything you might keep is blown up.
That's the thing. You still have these nice things in display on the ready room, in your ready room in the captain's quarters, which I would have nice things too. I got a lot of nice stuff. I'd want them on the ship, but at the same time, as soon as the ship gets pummeled by anything, and it's like, you know, you get the shake. I'd be worried about all the shit in my quarters falling off the shelf and breaking. So unless it's got structural integrity fields on the shelves that keep them in place, I would want a replica of it, have the original one at home, or
there you go,
storage place.
There you
go. Yeah, or have it locked up somewhere safe in the ship where it can't be jostled around. So if you wanted to pull the real one out, you could, but you got the replica in your quarters. So if it falls, who gives a shit?
Well, I mean, we see him in season 1 go to his personal vault.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Is that the real originals and he took replicas? I would think the Enterprise D is such a home that he would be cavalier enough to take them with him. But after the stuff was in. You could argue any which way, you know.
Yeah.
If he was very smart, he'd take the priceless artifact back home, and not keep it on a ship where they have pew-pews.
Yes, and that's the thing. This is such a rare item. But this one you wouldn't keep on the ship, I think.
Yeah.
Other things that are like, yeah, I can replace it if I really have to. Like.
Well, and also when you live in a world of holography and replication, if you've already got the original or a real version, putting a replica on display, would that not be basically as good? Especially if you could, you know, if you've got one of these things with all the items, you could take it into a replimat, say computer, make a perfect replica of this down to the millimeter. Because until you had one, you couldn't replicate a perfect one. There was always going to be flaws. So you'd think that as soon as you've got one, you can make a replica and therefore not need the original, because the original's value is its safety versus its display purpose. That's why when we have, you know, screen used props, they're a godsend, because as soon as you have one and see one, you can match the tiniest details that your brain might see on the show, but you don't know are there until you see it. But a basic replica is fine. This is a great question actually as well, and in the chat as well. Let us know what you think. In the collector sphere, there's a question of: would you like to own a screen used or a perfect replica? Say a phaser or a tricorder. What are your thoughts on this? Put it in the chat right now. What would you each want?
Depends what it is.
Good.
Depends what it is. If it's a phaser that I want to do filming with for a fan film, I don't want a screen used one because it's valuable. You don't want it being tossed around. You don't want it falling out of the holster. You don't want the actor dropping it or banging it against a tree when they turn. Anything stupid.
Boy,
like
that happens.
I know. I know.
Yeah.
aware.
Uh-huh.
And the thing is, yes, it's cool to have it. And yes, I would have it on a shelf on display, but I would not use it for those purposes.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you buy the one from Wish that looks close enough. And you can paint it to match the screen used one.
Yeah.
And you say, screw it. If something happens to it, who cares? Right?
Yes.
But other things like, for example, I have a screen used compass from the episode Borderlands that Archer gave to Paul. That's screen used. Like that was the one that you see him hand her. And I have it. It's not a compass, and it's an antique compass. I'm not going to be using it in my daily survival life to get to and from the store.
Yeah.
In 5 feet of snow, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's on a display shelf.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of a kind. It's not like 5 of them. It's
Mm-hmm.
not like 26 phasers that are in
Mm-hmm.
one scene. It's just one, right? There's actually 2 of them that were used on the set, but this is one of the 2. So, anyway, so that's a tough question. But it's a simple question at the same time.
But then the second question, if, say, the real compass was $800 and a perfect replica was $200...
Depends on the sentimentality of how important that screen use item is to you.
That's what I'm asking.
If it's a scene you like, one of the episodes you like, whatever. If it's an actor that was holding it that you really, you know. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I almost want a perfect replica for the cheaper price for most things.
Because by that pure money logic, and this I'm saying like a perfect replica, like this is maybe not the same materials made, but visually, you could buy 4 other props of equal quality.
Yeah,
now,
exactly.
Now this obviously that sounds like that's the end of the discussion. There's another thing to consider though. What you said there was a really unique example and well put, but that's unique. A phaser is a good example specifically because the Trek shows are decades old. A screen-used phaser is chipping. The paint is coming off. The rubber is breaking. The electronics do not work. So a screen used looks sometimes like trash unless you pay all of the money to get a okay condition. There are basically no perfect condition phasers, and certainly the amount of lights up are almost non-existent.
Yeah, you gotta think there's also the hero prop versions, which are seen in close-up shots, and then there's the stunt versions, which are made of rubber, and then there's the ones in between that are kind of like resin, with like a glowy bit, but nothing that moves or whatever, you know.
So then again to the audience, a screen-used phaser, a normal average phaser made of resin, where you can see the black through the silver. There's no lights, there's no sound, nothing moves. There's a chip on the back, the grilling is damaged, but it's screen-used, or a perfect replica which looks perfect and pristine and it has lights and sounds for 1/3 the cost, and it looks perfect, looks like you think it looked on the screen. That's the second question, Stuart. Where would you go on that when you add that into the mix? The condition
factor. Every screen used thing I've seen looks like absolute shit in person.
It's been a long time.
The lighting, it's the camera distance from camera, it's all that stuff that makes it look good on screen. But you'd be surprised how cheaply some of the props are actually made or repaired or whatever. And again, a lot of the screen used, when I actually see the screen used, I'm like, that's really cool. That, like, say Brent Spiner held that for a particular episode, but it looks like shit. I'd rather get a replica that looks like it's supposed to look, a little bit in some instances. But then again, you can't take away that it was held by Brent Spiner in one specific episode that was never seen again. That makes it a unique piece. So I don't know. It's a tough discussion.
Yeah, and it depends also in the way you utilize it, as you said. If you're just going to put on a shelf, you actually want the crap condition in a sense because it's a history value. It's a museum piece. Whereas if you want, again, thinking about a phaser, if you actually want a space phaser, you don't want to see chipping rubber. You want it to see pristine and quality. So for me personally, 9 times out of 10, I'd rather have a perfect replica because that is how it did look, how it should look. A replica will always let you down in one way or another, except for the museum value. Unless obviously things meant to look destroyed. You know, if you buy the destroyed com badge from Voyager, you know, the upside, you know, the one that's been from the inside out, that being damaged, it kind of adds the value in a sense. Like it looks more trashy. So yeah, it's you know, it's an interesting question for prop collectors. You know, each to their own for sure.
Yes. Speaking of, we've got the prop phasers here. Dun dun dun. And again, for a fan film in the distance, in the background, in a holster, these are fine, kind of thing. Anyway, Matt Boardman throws in $5. Music. Music feels more cinematic and draws on that Trek music lineage. Not a band account, $5. Kurtzman Trek still degrades old Trek D ship, not selling. Shaw's hate for Picard and Riker and Beverly vaporizing people. Don't be fooled. Oh, you're one of those. Okay. All right. We won't be fooled. Not a band account. We will be grumpy and shake our fists in the sky in frustration and anger at the things we cannot change. Dave throws in $5. Do you think being a Commodore at Fleet Museum is a demotion or happy retirement for Geordi? Did Picard with the Mars attack kill Geordi's career? No, I think it's happy retirement for Geordi for sure. I mean, what better place for somebody like him, who's actually met Zefram Cochrane, by the way, to kind of just have fun with his retirement, have all these old ships, these old relics. I think that'd be awesome. I don't think it was a demotion at all. But again, I could be wrong in that regard. Could have been that because of the Mars attack. He was the overseeing the Utopia Planitia thing there. So I don't know.
I find that an interesting question by itself as well, because he's had his. Wow, these are terrible replicas. Jesus Christ.
I know they are.
Fucking hell. Ugh.
You're welcome.
Thanks, man.
We'll just get rid of this. I'm so sorry. Are you okay?
That's so yeah. Right? I mean, sorry. Wow. I just want. It's like you flashed me, right? I wasn't expecting that. You just. What was okay? I was going to say something interesting and smart and really profound. Really
about Geordi being in retirement.
Thank you. I actually wasn't. I thought you were going to forget too. He's had his storied career. He doesn't need to be chief engineer forever. I love the idea that because I would imagine that he leads a team that helps keep these 50 ships from all the different eras working for the tour guides. That's fun engineering challenges all day, every day. If he's there to fix stuff and to improve stuff, I would assume that every ship in the museum has problems. Maybe he's also part of the like refurbishment team. It's a fun, unique thing. And then when a new ship gets retired, brought into his yard, it's like, cool. I get to work on 2360s design, and have a family, and it's one place, one time. It's not bad for his career. He's he's not young, he's not old, but he never struck me necessarily as I want to be a captain, because he would lose what his drive was. Commodore is a commanding position. We can do more than a ship. Being the captain of an engineering ship is a bit of a weird. You just go and fix. But if you're a Commodore of this sort of location, you get this giant plethora of things you could do. I think it's a tremendous place for him to be. That or the Academy. Those two things are kind of where I would. Yeah.
I wonder if being Commodore is like being curator. Like you get to curate the displays. You get to decide what goes out of storage and what gets put on display, what gets fixed. I wonder if the Commodore of Starfleet Museum is the same as the curator of the museum. That'd be interesting to find out as well. Not a bad account, $2. In the 25th century, ships can't afford light bulbs. I mean, you're not wrong. It is dark. It is dark in the future. Keith Jeffrey, 1974, throws in £2. Kurlon Nasco's from Wish. Oh, is that what those phasers were? Sure. Captain Robert April is here. Good to see you, man. Geordi has become a recluse and protective of his family. I can see that as well. Protective of his family? I don't know about that, considering one of his daughters is working with him. The other one is on site. This is my life. Says, did you guys ever get to go on a Star Trek set or act on one?
Act on one? Goodness.
Actually been on one? I mean, the closest would be the animation sets type on Roga. I still have not been down to Toronto where they have Strange New Worlds and Discovery. I would like to get on those sets at some point, but yeah. 159 likes, guys. That's awesome. We had 150 like goal. We have 203 people watching now, though. So all 203 of you, make sure you're subscribed and click the notification bell icon to all so you don't miss these kind of conversations and our edited content as well. And by all means, hit that like button. Let's see if we can get up to 200 likes. I'm going to set the goal at 180 right now, but yeah.
I'm going to set the goal at 240.
Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there you go. Heard it here. Heard it here first. This is why nobody's made him a captain yet, because he's too much of a hard ass.
Oh. Yeah.
Not a band account says, I hope Trek is back on track, but you have to be skeptical after years of bad direction. Yeah, you do, but at the same time, you don't always have to be so cynical. You can be hopeful and optimistic of the future and know that Terry at least knows what he's doing and loves the universe.
Well, and that's what I said. It's every season different showrunner, give or take. You know, like I think season 4 of Discovery would have been much better if the pandemic hadn't have slashed their plans. You know, hadn't made them do so much filler, etc. And season 2 if the showrunner had stayed from the first episode, but he wanted season 3, etc.
Yeah, and I mean you see it with like Aaron Waltke and Mike McMahon on Lower Decks. They're still under the Kurtzman umbrella, but they have the control of their shows. Well, Aaron's more. He's not like it's not like his show necessarily, but he's done. I don't know what does Aaron do exactly. He writes episodes. I know that.
So he's an executive producer, one of those many producers, but he's on the higher tier of that. Plus, he was a writer in season 2 and upgraded to be a lead writer of season 1 and then lead writer of season 2. So he took on the head of the writers' room for season 2. Plus, is maintaining high up duties.
That's going to be good.
I think he's like, yeah, well, exactly. I think he's basically 4th or 5th in the chain of command on Prodigy. As debatable depending on who, but yeah, 3rd, 4th, or 5th.
The Hagerman brothers are the ones that are in charge, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
They are the Terry, they are the Mike, but you still need your core team, especially as visionaries don't do the hard work themselves. You know, especially when it's animated. Because obviously a showrunner can walk on the set and help, if they want to micromanage, help direct or help do with lighting. But on a animated, they're not rotoscoping, they're not doing these small effects, and they're not necessarily going to care about the minutia versus physical on set really, really involved. There's a reduction of step there. A less personability. Hasn't affected, obviously, I'm not saying good or bad.
Well, Colin Somner says, I have not seen 1 or 2 seasons of Picard yet. Then don't. Just watch season 3, pretend it's season 1, and then go back and rewatch the other 2.
And fascinatingly, like Raffi, I mean, that's a fine setup for her straight out of the gate. She's a druggie. Nah. Stuff intelligence. Okay. I feel like
Spoilers.
you know.
He hasn't seen them. You gotta be careful. Shh.
Well, yeah.
Poor Colin.
Well, it's hard. It's hard not to do a non. Yeah. I'm gonna grab a glass of water as well. 'Cause I'm out of non caffeinated bad for you drinks. Back in 1 second.
You go do what you gotta do, as you will tend to do. All right. He's just left me again to deal with you people. Like I said, hit that like button. And let us know what you are excited for, what you have enjoyed seeing this season so far in Star Trek Picard. Then why continue trends like characters disrespecting Picard or the darkly lit ships? Darkly lit ships is the new cinematic, so that's fine. And the trend of disrespecting Picard has not continued. It's much more... Sammy made a good point about this when we talked about it.
Oh, that's
remember. We were saying it's much different vibe than it was in season 1, where people are like telling him to shut up, old man. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. Now it's more like a playful, just back and forth.
Yeah, there's a huge tonal shift of wanting to, because so the best example is in season 1 he gets actively demeaned by many people, even if he should be in the wrong, he does. In this season he got the quip about the warp engines. He gently suggested to Seven that she should tell engineering about the warp thing, and Seven gently says that's an old thing. And he's like, oh, plays it off gracefully, makes a joke with his friend about it, and it's very, I wouldn't say organic, but it's relatable, and no one feels stupid. It just feels gentle and sweet. There's no hard feelings about it. It's just a nice little moment.
Yeah. Versus
season 1, where he is actively the fool, he is actively made to look stupid, an idiot, and this lets you make him feel outdated while still being him and pleasant. First season, no. But we know that Michael Chabon helped season 1, and he was doing allegories of his own father who passed away, and he was trying to make Picard be dark and depressing, and the edge of his life, a man meaningless to the universe, and it comes across, of course. But now we're in season 3. We're here to celebrate the TNG cast, because you'd be hard pressed to say they celebrated the TNG cast in season 1 to the point they did such a poor job. They had to actively swap the show order, write a whole episode called Nepenthe, where you brought in 2 legacy characters to celebrate them while giving them a dark backstory, and there's entire scenes where they hug and celebrate and be friends because it wasn't working the season.
Yep.
It's because they are old guys. You're absolutely allowed to do that. It's like actually in the exact same way it's like the new La Forge. In theory, you just shamed her for her whatevering, but it was done in a sort of charming way, bit more mean than charming. But they're all smiling, kind of like it works well enough that you don't think, oh, she's an idiot. It's like, oh yeah, old me, I'm better now. Trust me. Like it's a looking down upon, but in a charming way, because they feel comfortable with each other, etc. It's and a lot of it's the direction. If you're actively sort of vibing, they're idiots versus just they're making a slight mistake. I don't know.
It's treated much better in this season though.
One episode, Stuart. One episode. It's not. Yeah. Because in season 2, episode 1, same thing. Picard was approached by an admiral, felt great. He walked in, positive to 7, great vibe. And Terry wrote that as well. No wonder.
Eric Skelton though throws in $10. In the Navy, different ships have different and specific operational purposes. Mm-hmm. Starfleet has a ton of ships. Any idea what the specific purpose of some of them are? Well, yes. Especially if you go back to like TOS designs, like this Enterprise was a class as a heavy cruiser. The single nacelle Saladin was a scout. Also had smaller ships, which were police ships or corvettes, fast patrol ships. Lots of different classifications. Never really confirmed on screen.
Well, not even at all. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, some people bitch, and I hate this for so much. Well, the Enterprise length is never shown on Canon, so shut up about Stranger Worlds. I'm like, but we've known it's 200. Yeah, because where is it written 289 in Canon? I'm like, well, Let's
do the math. Gene Roddenberry wanted the bridge on the top of the ship because you know why? Because you see the interior of the bridge all the time. That's where your heroes are. So when you put the bridge on the top of the ship, it gives a sense of scale for the ship. So you know how big the bridge is on the top of the ship. You know how big it is inside because you see it all the time in comparison to the people. You do the math, figure out the length of the ship. It's pretty goddamn simple. Yes, it's not canonly depicted on screen.
Until Stranger Worlds, which case they actually discovered they actually put the length, which I want.
Yeah, they actually confirmed the length to be the correct length.
Which it isn't at all.
Exactly. So, don't get us started.
But that's been the thing for like 45 years.
Yeah.
Like someone wrote that somewhere, and it's been everything, everywhere, in every book and every magazine, everything ever. At a certain point, the canon is also if it's been the thing. It's like the way you say K-less. Everyone said it a certain way for 45 years. That's the way you say it. Let's not change it now. That's silly.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's silly to the max is what that is. That's just annoying. I don't know the reasoning behind that either.
Well, we do know the reason because the official Klingon coach said that's not how you're meant to say it in the Klingon tongue. Say it the correct way. Because they thought they knew better, because they were technically proficient in it. It's like, great, yep, good. Yeah.
Wipe the spittle off your shirt and let's say it properly.
Oh, K-less. Sorry. But this is my life! Are you guys going to do a meetup with your fans? Well, it's funny because we sometimes think we're going to events and then we, as in like Vegas or something, and then often there's like, oh, we could just get this interview with this actor just at the right time. And then, oh, we normally sort of run out of time.
We have done some, though. We have done some small meet and greets.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of hard to orchestrate and plan those, to be fair. So.
And we try. It's funny when we do an event like that when we're together. We kind of like the freedom to move around and be noticed versus to be say, come see us in dealer room 6 at 4 p.m. versus we just walk around and we get stopped every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
There's a, like especially when we're together, like we're very recognizable together. I think.
Yep.
People recognize the team Trekyards, the Trekyards boys.
All right. So Ken Ambrose sent me a screen used on Picard's desk pad worth $2,000. Looks like crap.
Oh, I thought he physically sent it to you.
No, but it's like it's just got like stickers and like gold tape for the gold, and it just looks like absolute shit. Yeah, that's something I wouldn't want almost.
But it's screen, like, it's real.
It's embarrassing. I'd be like, that's screen used, but I want to fix it to make it look better. And that's where it gets dangerous, because you don't want to do that.
Or you get a brand new 3D print with proper, like, yeah.
And Trekyards says, I once met them. Cute couple, really. Yeah. Trekyards met us in the bar in Birmingham. He was drunk.
Which one?
Regrets it.
All of us? Oh, God. I suppose wherever we go, the drinks are expensive.
Ooh, Matt just sent me something. I don't know if he sent it to you.
Oh. Because we need to go somewhere where the drinks are cheap so we could all get gently buzzed. Because, you know,
sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name.
No, I haven't seen anything. Yeah.
There, I just sent it to you.
Okay. Oh, thanks, New York and Vegas. Well, we're always excited to meet anybody that wants to meet us. And we'll give you our undivided attention in those moments. Well, yeah, but we can't talk about that.
I know.
I mean, we could, but we try not to. We see things we can't talk about all the time, Stuart.
Do we?
Yeah. Apparently, maybe. Yeah. Are you two related, or how did you meet? No, he's not my long-lost cousin, dad, brother, all in one. That'd be an interesting family link. I'm gonna find the video where we talk about how you first met, because I think.
Oh dear God! Don't do that.
How did we meet? I wonder if there's like a blog post of someone talking about how we met. We did do one of those. I feel like I've said that before and we haven't done one. Ooh, I'm gonna Google how did Trekyards meet.
Good luck Google. Anyway, guys, 173 likes. We're almost at 200 likes. Can we hit 200 likes? I think we can. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Keep the super chats coming. We want to hear your thoughts about this season and what is making it feel like Trek to you. I just put an image of the Titan and the shuttle there. That is a fantastic shot of the Titan. I love seeing stuff like that, and we saw a lot of shots like that in Voyager specifically. So that's one of the things. But we want to hear what you guys want to talk about when it comes to what feels like Trek.
No, but I think really for me it's the culmination of factors that all come together for this episode. And I still don't get when people say, "Oh, there is a big bad threat" vibe. And that, like that, the fact that to me it felt like an easy, simple, a lady has a ship who's trying to get a thing, who found a weapon. That's lots of TNG episodes. Like, it's not galaxy ending. It's not universe destroying. It's not like that. That helps me feel super grounded. The fact that Titan, they basically nick the Titan, it goes off the edge of nowhere, and there's no other ships in range. it's doing a small thing. Like, its lack of importance to me helps make it feel more like Star Trek. Actually, to me. What do you think?
I don't know. I was reading a thing I didn't really quite catch it all, so I apologize.
Well, pick your words together. Do you agree or disagree, Stuart?
I agree 100%.
Okay, good. What do you guys think? But let's finish this poll with 180 votes. Do you prefer the new USS Titan A or Stargazer refit? 60% Titan A, 40% Stargazer refit. Interesting.
It is interesting.
Interesting. Bill, yes, well that's the thing, she might be. Because we haven't seen much in the trailers. And I do know that Terry is not always content with what they choose to show in the trailers. I believe he said he actively disagreed with including the group shot of everybody to leave it as a reveal. But the promotion people said, "Are you joking?" And he's like, "Well, it's a moment." And they're like, "Yeah, that's why I have to show it." And he said, "But if we don't show it, it'll be more powerful." And they're like, "We're doing it." And he's like, "Okay."
And This Is My Life, that was me. It was kind of a cooperative thing, but it was more me for the name of the channel. Sorry, Samuel. Trekyards.
Well, you were the... We joined... It was the Trekyards, and you said just do Trekyards. That was 100% you.
Yeah, so we're talking about shipyards, and then it's like, well, it's Trek related, so we'll do Trekyards. It was very much a cooperative thing, but yes, the actual, like, just boom, Trekyards.
Yeah, you nixed the.
Yeah.
And your wife came up with like 2 of the sub shows that we did for a long time.
Yes.
I can't remember which 2, but 2 of them.
What would we even have? We had Trekyards Originals, we had One Hit Wonders.
That was mine. Legends, I think, was yours. I think you said that.
Yeah, Legends was the bigger research ones.
What did Sylvia say?
We had like 5 shows a week. For a while there.
Yeah, we had the Stowe one, give or take, every week.
Yeah.
It was a fan. There was sort of fan other one. We did a lot of ships for a while. Yeah.
All right. Did you find anything on how Trekyards met?
No, the video that I thought we might have done, we never didn't do. So, yeah.
Well, it sounds like we need to do one.
Yeah, it's because we've said it so many times that we think we've said it.
Yep.
That's the thing about doing this for a long time.
Oh my goodness. Let's see. So we've covered ships. We've covered.
Well, okay. This is obviously a graphic I can throw up as well. Is the pure fact that we're seeing visuals that we know, explicitly know, is that contributing? You know, a space dock's almost that is so close that we know it's about the same. Ships that feel much closer. Is that literality helping?
Yes. It's a visual knock on the head of, remember this? Because we're doing this the same way. Yeah.
That's my life. But
That's my life. Yeah. We both have our own channels.
Well, yes, yeah. I do fan films. Way. How 543 fan. You were like,
did an unboxing. Did an unboxing of a PSVR 2 today.
Oh.
VR 2 came in today. So.
Damn. How different is it?
It's much different. Well, it's not much different. It's actually very similar, except for the handheld units.
I assume just the resolution must be just. Because that must have come out years ago at this point. Like, it was pre-pandemic, so that's 3 years.
What, the original VR? That's been out a long time.
Wow.
Way longer than, like, close to 10 years, probably.
Well, 10 years. It wasn't 2013. VR hadn't come out yet. I'm going to say it was 5 years ago.
Go look. It's a long time ago, though.
2016.
Yeah.
So it was 7 years. That's a very long time.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, you should obviously play the same games again. They'll be entirely different, I would assume. The experience should be...
Apparently you can't. You can't play the PS1 VR games on this. I don't know. I'm going to give it a try tonight. So I call shit on that. But...
I mean, I get it. It might be too advanced for them, but backwards compatibility is the entire sell, surely.
You'd think, wouldn't you?
You would
Unfortunately,
think.
that's not how console gaming works.
No, well,
Ugh,
no. But
should.
but PC, like if you buy a new Oculus, boop.
Yeah.
You wow.
Vad Wanu, who is our
Hey!
new ensign that's joined the channel,
From the
puts in
start.
$5.
Good to see you.
I haven't enjoyed Discovery or Trekyards in very long.
Oh.
I don't know where he's going to go with that.
We'll find out.
Yes. Bird of Prey 5 is here. Hello, Bird of Prey 5. How you doing?
Is that a custom version of your of Chang's face? It's your face.
Yeah, I think it is.
Nice. Yeah, no, it's like I said, it's lots of small things. There's not even necessarily a sense of adventure, but there's a sense of, like with season 1, not so much season 2. Season 1 of Picard had this, where's it gonna go? What could happen? Ooh. Turns out very little woo and places to go. But it felt that way. It was interesting, it was exciting, it was possible. A bag could make someone unconscious, Stuart. Just a bag over the head.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I do want to address one thing that has nothing to do with anything.
Okay.
Captain Robert April says Sony still thinks backward compatibility is a bad thing. You say that, but the PS2 could play PS1 games. PS3 could play, the original Fat Boy could play PS2 and PS1 games. It's only when they got to like PS4, and then PS5 really dropped the ball. PS4 could play some backward compatibility stuff. PS5, that's all in my. I have a series on my Captain Foley personal channel called Rant Alert, where I just rant about things that annoy me. One of them was the PS5 because it was supposed to be exciting and awesome, and they just dropped the ball on absolutely everything.
Whereas
anyway.
Xbox Series X, you could play all the games from Xbox 360, Xbox One, and all of which look better.
Yep. Too bad they're all Xbox games, and Xbox is shit. But hey.
I mean, I say that I haven't owned a new Xbox in a decade because I just didn't have time. I was doing Trekyards pretty much, honestly. Union Trekyards. I haven't bought an Xbox since. But I have a lot of Steam games. How many Steam games I have? Because you know what, my motto is, even if you've got no money, even if you have no time, if a game's £3, that's the cheapest it's ever going to be. Go ahead and just get it.
Yep.
Because I love that little thing, and all the big games will all be £3 eventually. £7 if you really want it in that deal, but £3 is gold. So I got so many random games just £3. I was like, oh yeah. I remember the best day I ever did for Steam. It was at university, you know, where money was a little more tight, and I had my friend, my housemate, in fact, he loved the Arkham games, the Batman Arkham games, and he bought them all day one, full editions, played them, whatever. And on Steam, this was years later, and there was a bundle on a day, all of the old Batman games together for like £21, all the platinum editions. He bought each of them for £40. I got all of them for £20. I told him this. He was not amused. I was very happy with my life right then.
That's how it is, though. You either buy it on day one, or you wait years and years and years to experience it, and then you get it for a good price.
Yep. Because I got DLC he never played, because I got the full. Because obviously you get the stuff that comes after as well. So he was and I have not played any of them.
So welcome to Console Yards, guys. We're talking about the new PSVR 2 today.
Yes.
It came out today.
Yeah. And well, in fact, speaking of console PSVR, Dr. Crusher, evil Dr. Crusher, is the current new Star Trek Online villain, which must link more that she's in Picard so much. You know, she remember she just did Prodigy. She's now a Stowe primary character, and she's in Picard. So Gates is coming up Star Trek. Her and Will Wheaton are the two. Will Wheaton is the Emperor of the Terran Empire, and Gates is his mother.
Yes.
No shit.
Well, Vad Wanu throws in another $5 and continues.
There we go.
His comment. I haven't enjoyed Discovery or Picard seasons 1 or 2, but I have really enjoyed Strange New Worlds and Picard season 3. They feel more like Trek to me. You say that, but what about Prodigy? What about Lower Decks? Like, you're missing some good ones there.
And Strange Worlds is great. It's just hard to get past the visuals that aren't incorrect. Lovely, but there's always been a separation of that's not how it looked. Wasn't a problem.
It looks great. That's not how it looked.
No. Period piece, remember? Trace period piece.
Yeah.
It's very important.
Yeah.
It's kind of the core that keeps it together.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vija's back again. Evil Vija too. Evil Vija is purple. Yeah, there's a I mean, Stowe really they've been doing the Lord's work for the Koala's work for a very long time now. No, Koala. Don't speak the wrong.
Oh yeah.
Koala.
Don't use Koala's name in vain.
There we go. Thank you.
If I said Jesus Christ, great Koala.
No. Anyway, boy, if you haven't seen Lower Decks, that would be very odd to you.
It's odd to people that have seen Lower Decks. Let's be fair. I don't know where the koala came from, but
well, it's the Lord and Savior of the universe, probably.
I mean, probably. We just don't know.
I mean, that might be the 7-season grand story. They'll finally meet the koala. I think.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. And the koala will ask for the Enterprise, and someone will say, "What does a koala need with a starship?" And they'll play it totally serious, and it'll be fantastic.
This guy, I'm telling you.
It's a good line, though. I should write into a fan film. I can meet the... Oh, okay, okay, can I find a 3D koala model?
I mean, probably.
Probably. How do you spell koala?
Koala.
I remember my thing to it. There we go. Oh, yeah, I know how to spell it. Good for me. Me who can't spell. But why do you guys think Star Trek Picard feels like Star Trek for Season 3? Throw out some suggestions right now. Spam the chat with your suggestions. I want to know.
Melted Copper says, can a Borg assimilate a zombie, a robot? A zombie robot Picard? Or would he assimilate them making a Picard cube? What?
Yes, they could assimilate him. But it'd be a different sort of assimilation.
Absolutely could. No.
Because remember, they could have assimilated Data, but it might have... Because they said Data could delete his memory. Like, he could kill himself in that process, but they needed his information. So, that's why they had to convince and seduce versus convert. Yeah.
Matthew DeFrieda throws in $2 and says, I love the new Super Chat like and subscribe icons. Well, thank you so much.
Have you mentioned that yet, Stuart?
I haven't. Well, I mentioned at the beginning.
Mention it again.
When we were sharing. We do have if you Super Chat, you get a little animation there on the screen. And if you join the channel as well, which we haven't seen one of those yet, because unfortunately, Mr. Vad Wanu, when he joined, was way early before the live even started. So we didn't have those quite kicked off yet.
But it's very fancy. Didn't think it could be done.
And it'll get better.
Is how fancy it is.
Yeah.
But Chris has a side comment, though. He says, nostalgia and ripping off the 2S movies. Ripping off? Pure nostalgia? Thoughts?
Well, it's not ripping off at all. It's different enough that I don't know what you mean specifically.
Well,
like,
for example...
You mean in the 25th century instead of the 24th century?
Sure, that's one thing. I mean, they use the exact same whistle for some reason. You know, things like that.
There's a fine line between ripping off and paying homage to, and considering this is kind of a swan song for this cast, the TNG cast all being together, I think it's fine to harken back to things and make people feel like they're home. I think it's fine.
But wouldn't it make more sense to harken back to their movies then versus the movies they weren't in?
No, because their movies are all shit. I mean, First Contact was pretty good. Insurrection was
shit.
No, I didn't say they were all shit.
You did. You just said they were all shit. That's why I quoted you back. I was like, really? You just said that? I mean, you say that, but TNG had 6 movies and 2 are crap, 5 and 1, like as movies. It's not a good batting average either. Better than TNG, but they had 4 movies. If they had 6, probably been 4 for 6.
Wow, you feel it seems like you're personally attacked. Man.
What is it's like Red Letter Media. Mike said they're all crap, and it's like, but First Contact's first and second best.
Here's my thought though. Yeah. I like Generations.
I know you do.
First Contact.
Mm-hmm.
Insurrection's kind of Nemesis. I like aspects of it.
That was a great watch we did though. that one time.
Yeah. So honestly, I was just saying their shit kind of just for the general audience because that's what everybody else thinks. I don't know why people don't like Generations. I think Generations is actually kind of great. But anyway, it's an homage. It's not ripping anything off, and I think it's fine. It's done differently enough that I think it's fine. What are your thoughts on that? Because I don't think it's ripping anything off, honestly.
I mean, can you rip off yourself?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, certainly having the klaxon from 150 years ago is a bit illogical, because that wouldn't still be there. So that is clearly we're utilizing the past to form a vibe. You know, things like that. The ship design is more acceptable because that's, you go through stages. But why would you replay an audio file that's not been in use for, you know, a century, etc. And like the whistle thing, like it should be a newer version. A newer version's fine. The exact same version is you know, and by new, I've just been like 10% newer, isn't actually much different.
25%.
Well, I'm trying not to say that, but yes. I have something to say as well. Oh yes. If you ask Steve Shives, which you shouldn't, the whole episode is just pointless member berries.
Well, he's going to not enjoy the season then.
But he didn't like Discovery Season 1, surely, then? Because that was... Or he
also,
did love it. He must have loved it, then.
He's also the same guy that's like, Canon's not important.
Yes.
As long as you can tell me a new and interesting story, I don't care about Canon. You can shit all over Canon, I don't care. It's like, well, that's a bad... it's a bad stand to take, honestly, but whatever. Some people agree with that, but Canon's important. Canon is what is your universe, you know? We can't change what's going on in our universe. It's all just built in canon. So why change it in a fictional universe? Anyway, 192 likes, guys. 8 likes away from 200. Hit that like button. Let's see if we can get to 200. We really appreciate that. Also, yes, we still want to hear from you. If you have anything that we haven't talked about or covered that reminds you of the Trek, the classic Trek that you guys enjoyed in this episode, this season so far, let us know if we want to talk about it. Good Tea, Nice House throws in $2. The Shrike deflector dish looks like Enterprise D.
Yeah, you see it sort of half in the trailer. It's, yeah, very familiar. But member berries is a confusing one, because by his logic, every 100% of a show should be new. Meaning it should be a ship not called Enterprise, any name we know. The bridge should be new. The displays should be new. The characters should be new. The uniforms should be new. The Delta should be new. The pip should be new. The planet should be new.
And watch Orville.
The races, the races should be new. Because by that logic, anything we see is a member berry because it's all part of the universe. Now, if it's 100% new, what's the point?
It's just a new sci-fi franchise.
Yeah. If you're actively avoiding the member berries, and where's the line of some are good, lots are bad, but isn't using the universe, as we always say, that's the most important thing. You know, why invent a new alien race when you can look at the brochure of 900 designed by the teams and say, I want that one fits, let's use that. Oh, it's a member berry. No, so we need an alien race that does this. Well, let's use these guys. Why would you invent a new one? You know, if anything, you're flattening the universe into a giant world of okay, like, are we ever going to see races from season 1 of Picard again? Do you care? No. But do you want to see a random race from Voyager that made an impression? Yeah. And I'd rather see depth with less races than a new race every episode that all of them get dropped. Which is why Discovery season 2 was good when they brought back the Saurian and another race, like they're out from TMP. Like, oh, yeah, use the Pantheon but updated them. Cool. You actually overdid there. So there's so many races. So many races. It's amazing. And even if they're just a nose, you know. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
But I mean, we're all different. You know, some people just want to watch individual bits of content for their own merit. You know, they just want to be entertained for those 40, 50 minutes and then walk away and not think about it. Whereas we love seeing it as part of this grand tapestry of logic, where this element links back to a thought, a concept, a notion from 1982. And because we have such love for this universe, that gives us a bonus level of joy. And when it's not actively meaningful to the plot, you're able to enjoy it because the plot is there, the story is there, and you've gained a bonus depth by having something that we know is not the right way of saying it, but part of the universe. It's a free win, right? It's a free win within a win. It just, yeah. Now obviously, if Picard season 3 was fighting a bird of prey with Klingons, a doomsday weapon, and also Sungan, like there's, if they laundry listed the things, fine. But, you know, we don't know. I mean, there's some of those things, but not many. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. No, Dan, this is from the next episode. George Mangrum, no, $5. Without member berries, why would I want to see an 80-year-old man running around in space? Good point. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, yes, but also you could argue, you know, the most talented are often those with experience because they've gained experience. And so an 80-year-old in Trek is like a 50-year-old, well, 60-year-old. They would have experiences that might be second to none, so you would need to bring them back. So, and often, you know, 18-year-olds running the ship is actually a sign of, oh, Jesus Christ, we're probably screwed. You want the experienced people, so, you know. It's like Riker. Yeah. Riker coming aboard, he's very talented. You're not worried about him doing fighting, talking, sciencey stuff. Like, he's got a plethora of abilities that you have to think about it. You just, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. 3 more likes to 200, guys. Can we do it? Can we do it? I'm kind of developing a massive headache for some reason. That's why I'm getting a little more quiet, so I apologize.
Well,
we're kind of forming before the live even started. But...
Yes. We did well, Stuart, to get an hour and 50 in, so good job for... Yeah. But final 10 minutes, guys. Final thoughts, questions, comments, and super chats. But I think the vibe is, yes, it does feel more like Trek. Now, several people, I'm not going to say many, but several people online say, no, all of the Treks have felt like Trek, you silly sausage. From Discovery, and they're all the same. They're all Trek. And it's like, well, they're all Trek, but, I mean, can you not feel the feel? You know? I feel like it's such an obvious thing to feel the feel that, you know?
Yeah.
Seems odd to not be able to pick up on that. But some people just like everything, you know?
Well, that's fine too. I mean, I'd love to go through life liking everything. That'd be kind of enjoyable, but regardless, I'm going to watch anything that's Star Trek.
Thanks, Chris.
I'm going to watch it all too. I'm not going to watch half of it and then judge the rest of it based on what I saw. I'm going to watch it all and judge it based on what it is. That's just the way I've always been. And there's a lot about it I don't like. There's a lot about all Trek I don't like. But you know, that's why I love our conversations. You know, we do the good and the bad, and scene by scene basis as well, because there can be good and bad in the same scene.
And I think it's honestly a shame if media can't be good and bad. If people like everything, then they have no, like, you can't judge their opinion because they have basically no opinion. Same if they hate everything, there's nothing to glean there. You know, and while everyone has personal opinions, you know, when you have an insane consensus like Terminator 2 is an incredible film. If you don't like Terminator 2, that's your thing, right? There are some things that are just unequivocally exceptional. So there obviously is a standard to rate things where you can be an outlier, right?
Yeah.
And that's fine, but to like everything sort of makes it you know...
it's an interesting point. To like everything means you have no opinion. I like that, because it's true.
And it also means that, you know, to dislike the Star Wars sequels, for example, to then watch The Mandalorian, you then have this reaction of extra appreciation because you understand what good Star Wars then is. Like, the benefit of knowing what good and bad could be creates wow. And then, big spoilers for Mandalorian, you are warned, you know, without seeing the trash that was the sequels, Luke coming in and not knowing it, the impact emotionally of that works because we've just seen him being not good, drinking the blue milk out of a titty, whatever the milk was. Like, that garbage meant seeing him back in his true form was so powerful because, you know, and I'm sure if you liked Last Jedi, you might have thought, oh, he's just the same old Luke again. It's like, well, sort of missed the point, didn't you? But,
yeah,
you know, if you like everything, these moments shouldn't play with you in the same way. You know, like you know, when the Titan showed up at the end of season 1 of Lower Decks, it grabbed me. If you like everything, it's just a cool moment. There's nothing special because everything's good. You know, it's just it seems it just seems odd to me.
Yeah. Jasper Jedi, member for 10 months at the rank of lieutenant. The universe is very rich, and the backdrop should be used, but also Trek is synonymous with new planets and new civilizations, so a mix is important. 100% yes. But yes, using the tapestry that is the background of the universe, absolutely use it. But yes, discover new things. That's what the exploration aspect of Trek is all about.
But it also depends what the show is. Lower Decks is not an exploring show. So therefore, they don't need to see a new thing every week. It makes sense they're inside the Federation. Prodigy, if it's in the Alpha Quadrant, you expect to bump into stuff. Delta Quadrant should be all new stuff, give or take. Or, like, could be all new stuff. Whereas a new, you know, Planet of the Week, you want 100% new. But if it's a show in Starfleet Central, you, like, you know, if there's a Starfleet Academy show, you don't want them meeting new alien races every week. There's only so many member worlds. You want to focus on the depth that we know, because you don't want the new stuff. You want to build up what we do know. So it depends on what the show is. That's why you need multiple Trek shows, because they do multiple things.
Yeah.
Well, it's like Nemesis. If that was random alien species, it wouldn't play as strong. Like the Sona in Insurrection, they're random alien species. Their impact's entirely based on that movie. But Nemesis, you gain all the grounding of caring about the ships and the races and the Senate and, like, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Gary Kaiser says, just got a notification, Voyager B is confirmed.
Yes!
Yes. We already knew that. Yeah. No, that's a very good point. And I think it's important to go through the critical mind, say what you don't like, why you don't like it, how it could be better. And same with what you do like. Why did you like that? Why could it be better? You know, and that's what we tend to do. We just don't say we just dislike this. We don't want to say why. We always go into details as to why. And a lot of people don't, even in the comment section on Facebook of our group. It's like, yes, you can not like something, that's fine, but give a reason why you didn't like it, how it could be better. Have a constructive point or criticism that adds to the conversation instead of just being so close-minded that you just don't like it for the sake of not liking it.
Which is fine if your brain doesn't work as I have no reasons why I don't like it, but then I'm not going to listen to you.
But then you shouldn't put the comment down because you can't back it up, and it's not contributing anything.
I mean, the opinion's fine to have. It's just, I'm not going to listen to it specifically. Whereas if you can have an entire, you know, if you want to put an hour video as to why you dislike Discovery Season 1, you probably have stuff to say, right? There's probably a whole plethora of points versus I hate Discovery. There's nothing to that. Okay, good. You know? Yeah.
Anyway, guys, I think we'll call it last super chat time. If you guys want to super chat in, now is the time. You get the last super chat word.
The last one was George about member berries, so that's a while ago.
Yes.
The last word to
I remember bury
Did
that.
you want to play the Fleet video while we have our final super chat?
Please, let's do that. This is part of the joining. When you join the channel, you become members of Trekyard Fleet. Depending on the rank you get assigned a ship. And you get to see at the end of every video where you get to see your name on the plaque, what ship you're serving on. And hopefully it builds a good community amongst us here.
Now, I have no idea if they'll play music because it never tells me. I'll never hear what I'm playing, apparently. So this is the video. Yes. So we'll be quiet for about 1:50. So last super chat slot, enjoy your face name. I'm going to mute myself. And I guess enjoy the new Trekyards Fleet. So many epic people. That's what that represents, eh?
Epic people and no music, just for the record.
Well, there's music in the clip, so maybe music
We
doesn't
will
play music.
try to get that sorted out so you can have music when we show those. But last super chat slot goes to, looks like Matt Boardman with $2. He says last word snipe. So last word is snipe, apparently, by according to Matt Boardman. So anyway, guys, I think we'll call it there. Have yourselves a great night. Tomorrow is new Star Trek. So
good luck with not having a headache tomorrow, Stuart, because we have 3 to 4 hours of filming tomorrow, give or take.
Jump right into it. Oh,
yes.
Space Thing the Reckoning, $5. No, I get the last super chat.
And Bill says who gets the Defiant. And just to clarify, whenever anybody becomes a captain on the channel, a new ship gets added. So that is not up to us.
Yes. Yeah. Captains get a ship right away, but admirals get a hero ship.
Yes.
So if you join at the rank of admiral, you might get the Defiant. It's important to note that you know, admirals get the hero
It's
ships.
not up to us. The fleet is formed by you all. So ironically, if say 10 of you became captains, that clip get a lot longer.
A lot more ships to look at too.
A lot more ships. So if you want others to be longer, but not with meaningful content, keep being a captain. It'll keep stretching the credits. Be longer and longer and longer.
That's right.
That's true.
Anyway, guys, until next time, he is Commander Calkins.
He's Captain Foley. Bye, guys.
See you guys later.